All right, man. So apparently, man, I was just going around, just search scrolling the internet, and I found this. All right, when one thing go wrong, or it becomes a snowball effect. First and foremost, it becomes a snowball effect. When one thing go wrong, it is what it is. So apparently, this guy, allegedly said, "I love you, bro, but you should request a trade. There's no way they're treating you in Glazing Gibbs is atrocious. Look at what happened when we don't use you, we lose." So apparently they're saying that Dave Montgomery like this on Instagram now. You know, this can just be mean. Hey, maybe I need a trade on this, that, and the third. And he feels some type of way, and he's handled it like a professional. He's played it the way you supposed to play it as a professional, a constant pro, in a corporate setting. You can't allow, you can't let them see you sweat. He's played it the right way. Um, but ultimately, you get tired of it. You want to play, you feel like you can make a difference, and then when the head coach is got the joystick or got the controller and he's calling the plays, and he's basically telling you, "Oh, when we're going to get you more involved," and it doesn't happen. It's like, damn. When you get in there, you got to feel like you got to make an explosive play, because if you don't make an explosive play, you may never get back in there. And he's made explosive plays and still really not, you know, um, you know, really got to get into a rhythm. And anybody feel this way when you feel like you're in your prime, when they just hand you extension and you pretty much, got that money, got injured, and then lost your spot, and they wanted to not they wanted to make a lot of changes on his on they wanted to make a lot of changes. Offensive coordinator, they wanted to hand the keys to a partnership to Gibbs, trying to find a way to get JMO involved. Do you got guys feeling this certain type of way? I mean, in Chicago, I don't think he deserved to get traded. He was very important to them. He was important to what he was doing in Detroit. And when he runs the ball well, Gibbs is that much better. But, for the most part, it's over with. And I think it's best that happens. And you're going to start seeing team camaraderie be tested here. The last time it was tested is when they blew that lead to Minnesota. They, in this regime second year, and they was like 1-7 or 1-4, 1-5 or something like that. And he galvanized the locker room. But, for the most part, you're going to feel a certain type of way. That's a fact. You're going to feel a certain type of way. This is human nature. You feel like you can contribute, and you feel like you can help the team, and they phase you out, and you basically a healthy scratch other than a touch here or there. You're like, all right, bet. So I get it. And then they hit you with the bullshit. Oh, he's been a consummate pro, but what is that gonna do to give me more playing time? What is, and I know he's telling himself, what is being a good person or being a good teammate getting me? Reduce minutes, reduce production, reduce me hitting my incentives. I want to play. You don't know how many, more years or much time you got in the NFL. You want to, get as much as you can. And he was a team player when it came to splitting the carries, and he probably thought he was going, he probably thought he was going to he pretty much thought he was going to be the guy here. He ended up having to split carries. He ended up having to split carries, and he accommodated them by splitting the carries and sharing the backfield with a young Jahmyr Gibbs, and he did what he's supposed to do. But then, in this league, when you get injured and you leave opportunity, this is what can happen. This is what can happen. So it's no shock to me. I remember, Curtis Martin said Bill Parcells told him, if you injured and you can't play, you may not get back in. You may not get that opportunity again. So if you can play, you better play. Somebody might take that ball, and when they can find a cheaper option, or younger option, they gonna go with it. Do I think he dissing Jameer Gibbs? No. It looked like it, but I just think it's more pent up anger when your head coach take the playbook and you get treated worse with the head coach than you got treated with John Morton. And best believe these players had a feel for John Morton wasn't it, and they having a feel that guess what, Dan Campbell wasn't it. Trust and believe me, they knew this. You know, you was hearing the defense was stopping them in practice. They couldn't run the ball. Remember, you was hearing all these things coming out of training camp. You was hearing a number of these things coming out of training camp. You was hearing a number of these things coming out of training camp that they were struggling. The signs were there. It was just saying, okay, maybe the Detroit Lions defense is that good. And then they had a joint practice with the Houston Texans. They had a joint practice with the Houston Texans and stuff of that nature. And Houston was, believed to have a really good defense and pass rush, and on paper or whatever, they gave them a pass. But all the problems that you heard about them in training camp, you've seen it. Oh, this is the same offense, and we're running the same offense, and this, that, and you hear all that shit. This is the same bullshit. They were never that good this year, and all the signs were there, and people was just hoping and being optimistic that they can fix that during the season. They didn't fix it. One thing you're gonna get with this team under Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, you're gonna get a bunch of injuries. You get a bunch of injuries, and injuries never come at convenient times. So I feel David Montgomery, you got to vent your frustration somewhere. And how old is David Montgomery? 28. I feel like he was running good in Chicago, and they got rid of him. He was running good here. Injury kind of hurt me at 28, 29 in June. So anybody gonna be unhappy here. Even the person with a high character, you're a competitor. You supposed to want to compete. You wanna supposed to be the best and play. If you ain't playing, even if you getting paid, it's hurting the brand. It's hurting the brand. So it is what it is, or it is what it ain't. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Hit the link tree. First link in the description. Follow me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, the whole nine. I appreciate the love, support. Let me know what you girls and guys think in the comment section. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. And like I said before, it's hard for people to take the high road. It's hard for people to take the high road. It's hard. Everybody, everybody ain't built for it. But until you in that position, I really wouldn't speak on it. But hey, peace.